Hello and welcome, dear children. Today we will study Standard 7th English poem number 4.4 Home Sweet Home. This is the part 1 video of the topic. This poem is written by John Howard Payne. John Howard Payne was an American actor, poet, playwright, and an author who had nearly spent 2 decades of his life in the theatrical career and was a very successful person in London. Actually, this Home Sweet Home is not a poem, it is a song written by John Howard Payne, and it had got a great success in those time. Nearly 1,000 copies of this poem was sold when it was launched at first time. So before a further delay, let's get started. The title of the poem itself conveys a deep meaning, children. Home Sweet Home. How is the home? The home is very, very sweet. Why is the poet telling us that home is very sweet? If you have heard, there is another word also for home that we called as house. So what is the difference between the house and a home? House actually is made of only the walls, okay, the infrastructure. When does a house become a home? Yes, the people that are living inside the house, the love of these people, the bonding of these, family members makes it a home. And not only just home, a very, very sweet home. So here the actor is telling his personal feelings, he's sharing his personal feelings as he is away from a house. You all know, children, that he is an actor, an American actor, and you know the life of an actor. The person has to stay away from his own house for a longer period of time. And when you stay away from your house for a long period of time, yes, definitely you miss your comforts, you miss your family, you miss the love of the family people, isn't it? So, the poet has shared his feelings through this poem. In the first stanza, he says, "Mid pleasures and palaces, though we may roam, be it ever so humble, there's no place like home." In the first stanza, you will see he has used the word mid pleasures. Now, what do you mean by mid pleasures? Mid is a short form of the word midst. Midst means among something. So, the actor is saying, though you are in the midst of the wonderful things, beautiful sceneries, mountains, sky, okay, or huge buildings. So, though you are in midst of lovely worldly pleasures, there may be palaces, there may be wonderful rooms around you, but there is no place like home. In the next, he says, "A charm from the sky seems to hallow us there." Now, charm means what? It's an attraction. So, the charm from the sky. So, when you look in the sky, the lovely scenery of the sky attracts us. Okay? And you seem as if the holy things, the honorable holy spirits are, blessing you from the sky. It's so wonderful. The word hallow here means the honor of holiness. Okay, so when you refer to sky, we all know there's a heaven in the sky, and we all believe that all the angels live in the sky. So no matter the wonderful charmness, the attraction of the sky and the holy things around us, we still miss our own home, our own house. Here in the next line he says, "Which seek through the world is never met with elsewhere. Home, home, sweet, sweet home. There's no place like home. Oh, there's no place like home." Which seek. Seek means to find. Okay, attempt to find. Okay, so which seeks through the world. We go on searching peace, we go on searching comforts, but still we come back to our own house. The next line he says is never met with elsewhere. So he is accepting that whatever we get around in the world, the thing that we get in our own house, you will not find it anywhere else. So whatever the worldly things are around us, still we are attracted to our own home. Okay, so here for never he has used the short form ne then apostrophe er. Okay, so this is the short form. In this poem the poet has used a lot of old English words. And this line, home home sweet sweet home, there's no place like home, or there's no place like home, in every stanza he has repeated this sentence just to give more emphasis and more importance to home. Okay, the next stanza he says, an exile from home, splendor dazzles in vain. Oh, give me my lovely thatched cottage again. In the first line he says, an exile. So what do you mean by exile? Exile means to stay away from your own house, or stay away from your own country or town. Okay, that's exile. You must have, read or heard about the story of Ramayana, where Rama had to go for exile. Nearly 14 years of exile he had, gone as a punishment, isn't it? He had gone in a forest to stay away from his own house. So I hope now everybody has understood the meaning of exile, to stay away from your own house. Okay, splendor dazzles in vain. Now, what do you mean by splendor dazzles in vain? Yes, the splendor, the magnificent things, the great things around us dazzles in vain. Dazzles means the shiny thing, the bright thing, the light around us, the beautiful huge buildings, the magnificent buildings, the glitter, the light that shines. In cities we will see all the time brightness during the day, during the night also. All this worldly things around us, this brightness, this shiny things, this beautiful, splendid, magnificent things around us, he says everything goes in vain. Now, what do you mean by the word vain over here? Vain means it is all useless, it is all worthless. Okay, so though you are away from house in a beautiful world around you, everything that is around you, the magnificent things, everything goes in vain. And he still pleads and he prays that, oh, give me my lowly thatched cottage again. Now, what do you mean by this word? Lowly thatched cottage again. Now, thatched cottage. Cottage means, house. Thatched cottage means, in olden times, mostly. Now also we will find that some houses are, differently constructed. They are made of mud or bricks, or the roof of it is especially covered with straw or reed, dry grass, bamboos. Okay, so that is called as lowly thatched cottage. Okay, so he is not living, his home is not a luxurious house. In fact, it is a simple house with less comforts, but still he is, praying that he should go back to his own thatched cottage again. Now, what is around the house that is, attracting him? The further he says, the birds singing gaily. Now, gaily means happily, joyfully. So you will find that there are birds around his house which are so happy and they are singing throughout the daytime, that come at my call. Next he says, give me them and the peace of mind dearer than all. Now give me them. What does he actually wants over here? Yes, he wants his own thatched cottage. He wants to see the birds, the nature, the love of the family members in his own house. So all this he wants. Give me them means this that he wants. Okay. And the peace of mind. See children, when you go away from your house for a picnic or a long tour, definitely 4 5 days you feel so happy, excited, amazing, because you are away from your daily routine life. You enjoy over there in a new place, in a new comfort. But after some days, you feel to go back home, because the peace of mind, the peace of, the soul is, yes, definitely at your own house, isn't it? Dearer than all, dearest than any other thing in the world around you. Again, the poet says, home, home, sweet, sweet home. There's no place like home. Oh, there's no place like home. Okay, I hope you have understood these two stanzas very carefully. The next part of the poem I am going to teach you in the next part of my video. So we will today focus only on these two stanzas. Let us see the rhyming words and the rhyming scheme of the poem. Okay, so if you see, the first line, last word, always when you see the rhyming words, they are always at the end of the sentence. See the first line, roam. Roam word is similar to the word home. Okay, the sound is coming same. Roam and home. So roam and home are rhyming pair of words. The next word you will see there and elsewhere. So these two rhyme, and again home and home has come. The next stanza we will see vain, again. So these two words are rhyming. Then call, all. Next is home and home. Now these were the rhyming pair of words. Now let's go again to the first stanza and check the rhyme scheme. So when two sounds are same, we give it a letter, a name as a letter. Like roam, we give letter A, the sound to that word as A. Home, the next sound, because roam and home is same, so both sound same. So again home also we will give the sound name as A. The next is there. There is different from the word home and roam. So there we will give as letter B. Elsewhere is similar to there. So again we will put over there letter B. Next comes home and home. So roam, home, home and home. The first two words and the last two words are coming same. The first two words of the first two lines. I hope you are understanding, children. So the home and home again goes A and A. So what is the rhyme scheme over here? You will find A over here, A again here, then this is B, A and A. Okay, so A, B, B, A is the rhyme scheme of the first stanza. Second we will see vain, again we will put A, again A. Call is different from vain and again, so we will write over there B. All is similar to call, so again B. Home and home here will be C and C. So what is the rhyme scheme over here? It is A, B, B, C, C. Okay. So this is the rhyme scheme of the second stanza. So we shall meet in the next video with the next 3 stanzas. Thank you, children.